Well, hello again, everybody. I apparently really goofed up as I tried to make my last video. Anyway, today I am shouting out to a wonderful musician. She plays the harp and the tin whistle. Her name is Sapphire Lewis. If you haven't checked her channel out, really, truly encourage you to do so. She plays the most soothing harp music and very, very relaxing. I think you'll enjoy it. So, Sapphire, I hope this sends a few people your way. Now, have you been practicing your groans? Because I've got a good one for you. In a small town, there's a doctor who's been the town doctor for 40 years, and he's well known as a teetotaler. Once in a great while, he'll have a glass of wine or something along those lines, but for the most part, he drinks tea. Well, one day, he's just had it. It's just been a horrible day. Just one thing after another. Nothing going right. Everything going wrong. More patients than he normally has. And he's just exhausted and had it up to his eyebrows. So on his way home, he sees the town bar and he decides, I'm going to have a good stiff drink. So he walks in, sits down at a bar stool, and the bartender, Dan, looks at him and kind of like, whoa, what are you doing in here? And the doctor says, it's been a long day, Dan, don't ask. I just need a good stiff drink. And Dan says, well, I'll be right with you as soon as I take care of Ray over here. He just got in before you. So he walks over to Ray and says, Ray, what do you have? And Ray says, well, Dan, I'll have my usual. So the doctor watches in fascination as the bartender digs under the bar and pulls out a blender. And he sets the blender on the counter and plugs it in. And he goes and gets a bottle of rum. And he pours in a couple ounces of rum, adds some ice cubes. And he wanders around the back bar, picking up a little bottle of this and a small bottle of that, and measuring out bits and pieces into this blender. Then he goes into a cupboard under the bar and pulls out a big knife. And the doctor's thinking, what on earth is he doing with that? The bartender walks the length of the bar, goes out the back door, leaves the back door open. Well, the doctor's so curious, he actually leans over the bar so he can see out the back door. Well, he watches in fascination as the bartender goes to a tree and starts hacking away at the tree with this knife. A few minutes later, the bartender comes back in, closes the door, walks over to the blender, and he's got a big glob of tree sap on the end of the knife, which he very carefully pushes off into the blender. Sticks the knife in the sink, turns the blender on, lets it run for a couple of minutes, and then pulls out a martini glass, sugars the edge, pours the concoction from the blender into the martini glass, slides a slice of lime onto the edge, and hands it to Ray. Ray looks at it, takes a sip, and just goes, oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I've needed that all day. That's great. Thanks, Dan. So Dan wipes his hands on his apron, walks down the bar to the doctor and says, well, Doc, what can I get for you? And the doctor says, well, after watching Ray's reaction, I think I might like to try one of those. What is it? And the bartender says, well, that's a hickory daiquiri, Doc. Oh. I told you it was a groaner. Anyway, the other shout out I wanted to do, because I said there would be 2 shout outs, is to a neighbor of mine. Well, kind of a neighbor. He only lives about 4.5 hours away by car. And that is Dad's Piranha. He was in Medicine Hat, Alberta. If you haven't checked out Dad's Piranha's channel, you should do that. He's a metal detectorist and does a wonderful job on his videos and has all kinds of interesting finds. So be sure to check out Dad's Piranha. Alrighty, everybody, stay safe, take care, and God bless. And don't groan too loud. The neighbors might call the ambulance on you. Take care. Bye-bye.